Yo, what's up my people? Welcome back to another video. I'm gonna try to do all of this in one take today because I want to start uploading almost like daily vlogs where they're more educational, more insightful, and more valuable rather than, entertainment. And that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop the day in the life vlogs. Like, I know a lot of you guys who are discovering my channel right now have discovered me through my day in the life vlog. So they're not gonna stop. I'm thinking doing day in the life once a week, and then for pretty much the rest of the week I'll probably do like 3 or 4 of these kinds of videos where they're just more, like I said, educational. But anyways, so right now guys, it is currently 1:14 in the afternoon. I've spent pretty much my entire morning just grafting away, working on client work at the cafe. I've been working on my Notion templates. I've been setting up looms for people I've been coaching and just touching base with them on WhatsApp. So it was a really nice, smooth morning and a very productive one. And that's where like the inspiration of this video came about, because I realized that some of you guys have asked me in the comments like, hey, how do I stay productive? How do I beat procrastination? And I figured like, while the thoughts are fresh in my head, I might as well make a video on it because today was mad productive, yo. And I know it doesn't sound like I've done a lot based on what I just told you, but trust me, the work behind it, I definitely got a lot done. And I did do some reading. So anyways, how do you have a productive day? Well, for one, what made today really productive for me was I actually had my phone off, and I only turned it on when I really needed to use it. So like when it came to paying for parking, Apple Pay, posting on my Instagram stories just to get some activity in, that's when I turned on my phone. And then after that, I turned off my phone. And I think I actually wrote here in my notes, there's a few reasons why I personally believe like having your phone off in the mornings is really beneficial for you. And there's a few ways to go around this if you actually need, your device for communication or for work purposes, right? So I wrote here in my notes, there's a few things, right? The first thing that I wrote on my notes is the principle of you first, right? So when you wake up, it's just my personal opinion, I don't think it's really healthy or productive. I don't think it'll give you the momentum to start your day if the first thing you do when you wake up is check your phone and then all of a sudden watch other people's stories. You go on Explore, you start watching Reels. And the reason why I'm not a fan of that is because it kind of positions you where the moment you wake up, you're already worried about what other people are doing. And then especially if you're on the Explore page, it can be a motivator or it could be something ridiculously toxic depending on how you use it. And personally, I think there's more disadvantages than there is advantages when it comes to looking at things on social media first thing in the morning, right? Like if you're in this like whole self-development space and you like watching content like mine, you probably like watching other YouTubers that we all love and know, Daniel Dalen, Hamza, Iman Gaji, Mike Thurston, like all these freaking YouTubers, right? Leon Adib, all of these other self-development YouTubers that are, women like Wizard Liz, like, you know what I mean, right? So when it comes to this space, sorry, I lost my train of thought. What I was really trying to get to is that when you're on Explore on Instagram, you see all this like motivation stuff, right? You see all like these Lambos, these yachts, these watches, these people with like nice lifestyles. And that can be motivating, but if you are just waking up and that's the first thing you see all the freaking time, one, like I said, it positions you where you're prioritizing other people first. You're not worried about what you have going on. And two, it could also be a constant reminder of what you don't have. You're kind of positioning yourself in a place of comparison, and that's not good for your productivity because it really messes with your energy, with your drive, with your confidence with yourself. It's not good for you. So first thing, if you can, leave your phone off or don't use it at all. If you need communication for work reasons or whatever, dude, use a MacBook, use a laptop. And I like to use a laptop because it feels like I'm more in like a work mode. Like, yes, it's still an electronic at the end of the day and it could do the same things as your phone. But to me, it's just like a different feeling. It's more of like a utility feel. Like I really feel like, I'm using it for a purpose, and it's not just like a dopamine hitting device, right? And I go in there, I use it what I need it for, and then that's it. So that's the first thing, the principle of prioritizing yourself first, right? So that leads me to my next point. If you are not going on your phone first thing in the morning, what are you doing? So that leads me to the next point, which is creating your lists. And I recommend you to create 3 lists. And I wrote here on my notepad, the first list that you should create is your list of non-negotiables. So with my clients, I give them a list of non-negotiables. So no matter what gets in the way, no matter what happens, no matter what life does to you within the week, these things will happen no matter what, right? So like one example that I've given to my client as a non-negotiable is I have her work minimum 3 times a week at the gym, work out at the gym 3 times a week, 10K steps 3 times a week minimum, and meal prep for 3 days out of the week minimum. So those are the non-negotiables for her, right? We're just keeping everything really simple. But what that does is it gives you a compass to follow, right? Because you may want to do a bunch of things, within the week, but maybe life gets in the way and you can't accomplish everything. But these non-negotiables will always be accomplished no matter what. So that's what maintains your rhythm, your flow, your consistency. It also maintains your confidence within yourself, because what I tend to find is that if you, at least with my clients and even myself included, like when I miss a target, when I miss a task or a goal, I kind of like fall off and kind of slip on everything else. So that's what the list of non-negotiables are for, right? And you could develop this in your own way, right? Maybe you want to go to the gym twice a week, 4 times a week. You want to get 10K steps in daily, right? Whatever your non-negotiables are, customize it for you, build it out in a way that's authentic to you. But these things must happen regardless of what goes on in life, right? So if you're traveling but you need to get a workout in, you're going to have to accommodate. Maybe just do push-ups in the hotel room, or go on a quick jog, or if you really can't walk, but instead of doing 10K steps, maybe do 20, 25, right? You have to find a way to accomplish each task regardless. That's the whole point of your non-negotiables list, right? It keeps you on track. It's your North Star, it's your compass. So that way you don't lose that momentum throughout the week regardless, okay? So that's one. That's the first list that you must create. And I recommend you create this non-negotiable list that you could accomplish first thing in the morning. That really ties in with prioritizing yourself first, putting you first before anything else, right? And the second thing second list that I recommend you to create, it kind of relates to your non-negotiables, but it's the list of your highest leveraging tasks, the tasks that give the highest contribution to what you're trying to achieve. So example that I could give you is like the highest leveraging tasks that I could accomplish are YouTube scripting, YouTube recording, like making a video, editing and publishing. Those are my highest forms of contribution, because at the end of the day, if there is no YouTube videos coming out, there is no coaching services, right? So it's kind of pointless to work on the coaching services if my YouTube isn't, if it isn't done first thing. So that's my way of, or that's one example of a very high leverage activity for me, right? So what's next? After my YouTube videos are done, what's the next highest level of contribution? That would be I could kind of swap them. It would be my gym, my fitness, health, working out, meal prep, right? I could do that first thing, or I could do YouTube videos first thing. And they kind of intertwine, but you get my point, right? So that's your second list, right? The list of things that will give the most contribution, right? So if you're in school, That could be getting a certain assignment done first thing. That way, at the end of the day, you could do fuck all, and you can go out. You could go out to the mall. You could hang out with your friends, whatever, right? You always do the highest leveraged things first thing, as much as possible, right? If you have a 9 to 5, but you have a side business or you're working on something, I recommend you work on it before you go to your 9 to 5, not after, because it's just a mindset thing. Like, you prioritize yourself first. The world can wait. Your job could wait. Everybody else there could wait. You first, right? And that puts you into this upward spiral of just getting things done. You feel better about yourself. You're knocking things out. And even if it's not necessarily feeling like an upward spiral, it gives you confidence with yourself. You still have this satisfaction that, you know what, I'm still moving the needle forward, even if it's a little slow. Okay. And then the third list is just your normal day-to-day task, the mundane stuff, right? You want to clean your apartment. You want to do groceries. You want to do laundry, just, the mundane stuff. It doesn't take much brain power, and it doesn't really contribute to anything, business, school, work related, right? So that's your third list. And you knock them out in that chronological order. So the first thing is highest leverage. I'm sorry, not highest leverage. Your non-negotiables, the things that are mandatory. And of course, like I said, life can get in the way. So it may not all be done first thing in the morning, but you make sure by the end of the week, they're all done, right? Second is your highest leveraged activities, the things that have the highest contribution to getting you closer towards your goals, closing that gap between where you are now and where you want to be. And then the third thing is like your normal day-to-day stuff, the things that don't really matter, okay? And then the last principle that I have in today's video is the principle of subtraction or reduction. I feel like I've touched base on this before in one of my videos, but I think it's super important to just remove all of the fluff, the things that don't really matter. And I'm not saying that you can't have these things. And what I classify as fluff is just like scrolling through social media, talking on the phone with your friend, just fucking anything that's like kicking rocks, bro, like video games and stuff like that. I'm not saying to completely like delete those things from your life. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a time and place for everything. You have to know, when it's appropriate to do those things. So I would say if you have enough discipline, remove it. Remove it from your day. Or if you can't remove it from your day and you really want these things, fine. But do all of your non-negotiables, your highest leveraged activities first, and then schedule those things later in the day when you've already accomplished everything that you needed to do. Like, that's how you avoid procrastination, guys. Like, when you do the hard work up front, especially when you don't feel like it, that's from Hamza, and you knock those things out first, it gives you confidence. The thing that I'm finding with myself and with other people is that the confidence comes only after the work. You don't have the motivation or the confidence to do everything, all the hard things. I mean, of course, some days you do, but most of the time, the motivation and the confidence doesn't come first. It comes after you've achieved the hard things. Then you feel really good about yourself, and then you feel like you feel better about yourself when you do fuck all, when you do just want to talk shit on the phone, you want to go out, you want to grab a coffee with a friend or whatever, you want to watch TV. Fine, no problem, because you've already put in the work. You deserve it. You've earned it, right? So that's the third principle. It's stupidly simple, but just reduction and subtraction. Just remove the things that aren't really essential. Like, I have my boy. He calls me every day. I call him every day. But there are days where I just don't take his phone calls, at least not during the day. Like, he'll call me 9 in the morning, maybe 10, 11 in the morning, but I don't respond. I don't text him back, nothing, because I'm focused on my work, my clients, my YouTube videos. But then in the evening, once all my work is done, hey bro, sorry I missed your call. I was just working, but I'm free now. What's up, right? So that's the last principle, guys, and that's really it. I feel like all of these YouTube videos about procrastination and just being productive, they're more complicated than they need to be. So that's the simplest way I stay productive as much as possible. And yeah, it's only like 1:30 in the afternoon. I'm chilling now. I got all of my essential work out of the way, and yeah, now I have a little bit of time to breathe and relax. And then also, I just picked up this I picked up this Lego set at the Barnes and Noble. This is another means of investing into myself. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, I said that this was a form of investing in myself because I've already invested in everything that I possibly could, right? I've invested into a coach. I've invested into I invest into books. I have a lot of books. There's actually more books that I'm showing. But yeah, I've invested into books, invested into pretty much anything self-development wise. And I feel like when you're plugged in too much, that's another piece of advice for productivity. If you're plugged in too much, it could kind of hinder your creativity, your flow, your confidence, your focus. So this is my way of decompressing after doing a lot of client work and client fulfillment. I'm gonna go ahead and build this freaking Lego set, make me a nice lunch, enjoy, unplug, get my focus back. And then in the afternoon, I'll be making more YouTube videos and doing more editing. And yeah, that's how my day is pretty much spaced out. Like, don't think that you have to be overly busy, like being overly extended. That doesn't make you productive, okay? I feel like you still need to create time to unplug, create space and time to think and gain perspective. And when you do that and you are able to kind of like decompress, you'll be able to go back in on your tasks and your work a lot stronger with more clearer thought and yeah, more clarity. So that's it for today's video, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and build this freaking Lego set. I'll probably post it on Instagram once it's all done. But yeah, guys, hope you guys like this one take kind of video. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more stuff like this. And promise, I'm gonna have another day in the life coming out soon. So yeah, guys, like and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. And yeah, see you in the next video. Peace.